Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about some freestyle basics. So freestyle is the fastest stroke of the 4 strokes. It's also the only stroke that swam over 200 meters in a race. So today I'm going to teach you how to swim freestyle for beginners. And I also have some bonus tips at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And with that said, let's get into it. Now firstly, and arguably the most important thing in swimming is the kick. And that's because a strong kick and a good kicking will make you more buoyant in the water, keep your body in a better position, and also reduce drag for your body. So let's look at how to kick and how you can practice kicking. So in freestyle we call it a flutter kick. Now a flutter kick is basically when both of your feet are kicking in opposite directions in a wave-like motion, and this creates a propulsion but also keeps your lower body higher in the water. Now you shouldn't see too much splashing on the surface of the water. You should kick slightly below the surface of the water and imagine that your feet are like snorkeling fins. It shouldn't be too rigid at the ankle, but somewhat relaxed. That way you're able to maximize the efficiency of your kick. The flutter kick requires a certain amount of core strength and also muscle memory, and you can practice at home by doing these few exercises. Firstly, we got dry land flutter kicks, where you just sit down on the floor, hands on both sides of your waist level, and then make sure that your knees are straight, your toes are pointed. You can do around 30 seconds to a minute each time. Give it a bit of rest and then do it again. Do around 3 to 5 repetitions, and this is going to improve your core and your overall muscle memory of the flutter kicks. Second is boat hold. This is going to improve your core strength, help you be more stabilized in the water, and also support your lower body so that your legs don't sink. You can do around 30 seconds to a minute each time, and again do around 3 to 5 rounds of that. Lastly, we got laying flutter kicks. Make sure that your toes are pointed, you're kicking in a rapid motion just like you would in the water, and this is going to practice and build up that core strength in your back and also that muscle memory when you actually swim freestyle in the water. But of course, the best way to practice kicking is in the water, because that's how you're actually going to swim. You can do this with a kicking board, which is slightly easier, or you can do it without a kicking board. But either way, make sure your toes are pointed and you incorporate all those tips that I just talked about earlier on into your swimming. So now let's talk about the stroke. The stroke is where most of the propulsion is going to come from in freestyle, and it's in this alternating movement where only one arm is going to be pulling at a time, and you create the cyclical motion which propulses you forwards. So I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video, but all you have to know right now is that when you're pulling, the arm is going to move and pull underwater from an extended forward position to your hip. Make sure it's slightly bent. That's what we call it early vertical forearm. Or EVF. Your fingertips are going to be pointing downwards at all times, and the palms are going to be facing the direction of your pool. You can focus on the pulling by squeezing a kicking board between your legs like how I am right now. This is going to allow you to swim without the need to kick so that you can focus on the pool by itself. But of course there's a few dry land drills you can do as well at home. Firstly, you can just bend over and make sure that you're doing the correct technique. Your arms are slightly bent, your palms are facing the direction of your pool, and your fingertips are always pointed downwards. The most important thing about pulling is the body rotation. Make sure your shoulders are rotating, and it's always going to be rotating towards the side that you're pulling, like I am right now. Although I do find this exercise a bit awkward to do, but you can try it out yourself. I think it's a very good exercise for beginners to do because you can focus on your technique without having to worry about sinking legs or kicking or breathing. You can also lay down on a chair or a bed and just focus on the pool itself. Make sure you're getting that high elbow catch, your elbows are slightly bent, and you pull all the way to your hips. But lastly, the best way to practice freestyle in my opinion is that if you have a mirror at home, stand in front of the mirror and just practice doing freestyle in front of the mirror. Make sure that both sides are symmetrical, because a lot of the times we swim freestyle unsymmetrically, and it's going to give you muscle imbalance and also slow you down significantly and also mess up your rhythm. So try this at home if you have a mirror. Okay, so one more thing to add to your freestyle is that the reason why rotation is so important is because you got to breathe as well. And when you breathe, you want to rotate your neck, your head, and your body like it's one single piece. You don't want to rotate only your neck by itself, because that's going to waste a lot of energy and create a lot of unnecessary movements. So when you breathe, only reveal half of your face, and that's probably going to be enough for you to take a breath. So the last thing I want to talk about in this video is body position, because it serves two important purposes. Firstly, it allows you to swim freestyle much more easily and with the proper technique. Second is that It makes you more streamlined, and streamline is the most important thing in swimming because you want to be able to cut through that water like a spear, and that all comes down to your body position. So let's look at what a correct body position looks like and how you can practice. So no matter if you're practicing your kick, your pull, or you're just swimming freestyle as a whole, you want to imagine yourself as an arrow. And I'm not talking about this type of arrow, but I'm talking about this type of arrow. So what I'm talking about is that you want to minimize your frontal drag, and there's a few ways to do it, but the most easiest way is to reduce your frontal drag by squeezing your body, by engaging all your muscles. You want to engage your glutes, but most importantly you want to engage your core and make sure that you're not pulling to the side, but you're pulling in a straight line just below your shoulders. Now of course you don't want to enter your hands directly above your head or in the center of your body, but you want to enter slightly close to the body, just above the shoulder, like parallel to the shoulders, and that's going to also help you reduce your frontal drag. But to be able to do that, you of course need to go back and practice your body rotation and your shoulder rotations. Now let's look at how you can practice at home and get that good body position. So the easiest one is that if you have a wall, you just face the wall, or you can face against the wall, and you want to just reach up, reach as far as you can, stretch your shoulder blades, and keep in that good pointy arrow position. So the second method I've already talked about earlier in this video, and it's the boat hold. You want to engage your glutes, you want to engage your legs, your core, your shoulders, everything, and you want your hands to be overlapping and be in that good arrow position on the floor. So before this video ends, I just want to add two more things that I want to talk about. I guess you can call it a bonus tip. But basically when you pull, you want to make sure that your fingers are not too tightly close together. You should leave a bit of a gap, around 10 degrees or so, between each of your finger, and that's going to maximize the amount of propulsion you get and also the amount of water you can pull per stroke. And with that said, I just want to say that just by watching this video probably isn't going to make you the best freestyle swimmer ever, or even a good freestyle swimmer, because all I'm giving you is the theory part, and you really have to go out, because swimming is a practical sport. It takes time and practice to build up that water feel, that awareness and control in the water. So you really have to go to a pool, or at least in the water somewhere, to practice all those tips, focus on the tips, and you're probably not going to remember everything at once, but at least focus on one thing per session, and that's going to build up over time. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.